Hey there friends, welcome back to the third video in our series on building strong and successful teams. So we are going to talk today about step number 3. Now the first step in building the strong and successful team was to build trust within your team. Build such an implicit and natural level of trust among the team members that step number 2 would become a logical outgrowth of it. The paralyzing fear of conflict can be removed, making the conversation, even disagreements for that matter, on the team that much more productive. There will instead now be a level of transparent openness within the team that precluded any fear of judgment or criticism for their viewpoints or positions. Now comes the third step, and that is to gain the commitment of each team member. When there is trust within the team, there is a freedom to voice your position without any fear or without any anxiety or reservation. And each team member has had a chance to voice their opinion, and each member feels that they've been heard. It becomes easier by magnitudes to commit to the collective decision now. Why? Because commitment really is the result of two things primarily. Clarity, 1, and buy-in, 2. When there is no fear of conflict and when there is space to express your positions and viewpoints with freedom, it allows each member on the team to relinquish or sort of let go of their individual views in favor of the collective decision because they've been heard. Individual buy-in to the collective decision therefore becomes a lot more plausible. Secondly, because every viewpoint and position has been debated and analyzed, the resultant decision of the team as a collective unit has now become crystal clear. There are no more ambivalences, no more unpresented positions. I'm reminded of a quote from Rollo May. May was an American psychologist and author. He studied commitment, among other things, in great detail. And this is what he said about commitment. The relationship between commitment and doubt is by no means an antagonistic one, meaning commitment and doubt are not mutually exclusive. Commitment, he says, is healthiest when it is not without doubt, but in spite of doubt. Let me repeat that. Commitment is healthiest when it's not without doubt, but in spite of doubt. Now, the reason I quote that is because the fact that everything has been discussed and debated freely does not mean that all other viewpoints have disappeared magically. Team members may continue to hold a differing opinion individually, but here's the difference. That team member or those team members do not carry those viewpoints back out of the room. Because there has been a resolution, their views have been heard, they've been presented to the team, they've been discussed, debated, and they've been heard. And now, therefore, the collective decision is what everyone attests to. If you as the leader fail to gain this kind of commitment, the result could be an indifference or a lack of complete buy-in to the collective decision. If your team member fails to commit, what happens is that differing and often divergent viewpoints continue to fester within the organization. And the result, of course, as you can guess, is going to be chaotic and disastrous, or at the very least, morale draining. So as a leader, your role is to elicit such a commitment from every team member. Allow for the space for every opinion, but in the end, get each member to commit to that collective decision. Your role as a leader is therefore to create clarity through a transparent and open discussion and then gain the buy-in from each team member. Let me end this video with a great quote. This particular quote comes from Anne Morris, a leadership expert, author, and the founder of the Leadership Consortium. The irony of commitment is that it's deeply liberating, she says, in work, in play, in love. The act of commitment frees you from the tyranny of your internal critic, from the fear that likes to dress itself up and parade around as rational hesitation. To commit is to remove your head as the barrier to your life. Cheers.